Welcome to another deep dive. Today we'll be exploring something very close to home, and that is your relationship with money.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah. And to help us on this journey, we'll be looking at a personal finance classic,
Okay.
Your Money or Your Life.
I like it.
Now, this is not your typical, get-rich-quick scheme or a budgeting lecture. We're going to be going a little deeper and talking about the connection between your finances and your life energy.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, so think about this. Have you ever sat down and actually calculated your real hourly wage?
Not really, no.
Yeah, like factoring in all the hidden costs of your job.
Huh?
Or have you ever thought about what your spending habits actually say about your values and purpose? Or what if you could reach a point where working for money was optional?
Now that would be a game changer.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be diving into today.
I'm excited.
All right, so let's jump right in.
Okay.
So the very first thing I want to mention is that the core concept of this book is that money equals life energy.
Oh, wow. That's powerful.
Right. And that forms the foundation for everything else that follows.
I see.
So basically, money isn't inherently good or bad. It's just a tool that we use to trade our limited life energy for.
It makes you think about every dollar you spend differently.
Exactly. And the book does a really good job of explaining this, in a way that's engaging. For instance, they ask us to imagine ourselves on our knees bissing a $100 bill to love us.
Wow. That's a striking image.
Right. It's a bit absurd, but
Yeah.
it really drives the point home about how we exchange ourselves for money.
I can see how that would shift your perspective.
Absolutely. And once you grasp that equation, it really changes how you view every single financial decision you make.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's move on to the next step, which is all about actually tracking your life energy.
Okay, how do we do that?
Well, the book breaks it down into two parts. The first part is about calculating your real hourly wage. Remember, this means factoring in all those job-related expenses we talked about earlier.
Like transportation, work clothes.
Exactly. Even those little things like that extra coffee you need to get through the day.
Yeah, it all adds up.
It really does. And then the second part of tracking your life energy
Hmm.
is meticulously documenting every single cent that comes in or goes out.
Whoa, every penny.
Every penny. No rounding allowed.
I can see some people rolling their eyes at that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It sounds like a lot of work.
But there has to be a good reason for that level of detail.
Absolutely. It's all about awareness.
Awareness.
Yeah, really understanding where your life energy, embodied in the form of money, is actually going.
Huh. I never thought about it that way.
Right. And the book shares this really interesting anecdote about a financial planner who realized he was only netting $7.50 an hour after deducting all his job-related costs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing, right?
It's incredible.
Yeah, and this level of awareness can be really eye-opening and empowering.
It makes you think twice about your choices, for sure.
For sure. All right, so moving on. The book introduces this concept called the monthly tabulation.
Okay, what is that?
Well, it's not your typical boring budget.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's more about creating personalized spending categories that actually reflect your life, not some arbitrary standard.
So it's more tailored to you.
Exactly. And they compare it to mindful eating.
Mindful eating.
Yeah, like savoring the experience of each expense.
Yeah.
And paying attention to when you've had enough.
That's an interesting analogy.
Right. So, for example, the book highlights Rosemary.
Rosemary.
Yeah, Rosemary, I think that was her name. And she created a category specifically for beauty and aesthetics.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you can really get creative with it.
I see. So it's about being mindful of your spending.
Exactly. Even if you don't create a whole monthly tabulation, the idea of mindful spending is so valuable.
Yeah, I could see that.
All right, so now we get to the heart of the book's self-discovery process.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
And that is the 3 transformative questions.
Oh, wow. 3 questions that can transform your relationship with money.
Yeah, they're pretty powerful. So first question is, did I receive fulfillment, satisfaction, and value in proportion to the life energy spent?
That's deep.
Right. It goes beyond just asking, was it worth it?
Yeah.
It makes you really confront the trade-off between your time and your stuff.
Yeah, like what did you actually gain from that purchase?
Yeah.
Exactly. So what about the second question?
The second question is this expenditure of life energy in alignment with my values and life purpose?
Oh, that's even deeper.
Yeah, it gets real here. It's about asking yourself, do my actions actually match my ideals?
And that can be pretty uncomfortable.
It can be, yeah. And the book gives an example of a guy named Hal N. and he discovered these massive spending blind spots that totally contradicted his values.
Oh, wow. So it can really make you face some hard truths.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right. So what's the third and final question?
Okay, so the third question is a game changer. Ready for this?
Yeah, hit me.
How might this expenditure change if I didn't have to work for money?
Whoa. That's a mind bender.
Right.
That makes you rethink everything
Totally. It helps you see which things you're only doing or buying because of your job.
and how you might live differently if you were truly free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's such a powerful realization.
Yeah, it really puts things into perspective.
All right, so now that we've got these three transformative questions swirling around in our minds, the book introduces a visual tool to help us track our progress.
Okay, I like visuals.
This is called the wall chart.
The wall chart.
Yeah, it's basically a way to visualize your journey toward financial independence by tracking your income and expenses over time.
Oh, I see. So you can actually see your progress.
Exactly. And the cool thing is it reveals something called the crossover point.
Crossover point, what's that?
That's the magical moment when your investment income surpasses your expenses.
Oh, wow. So you're actually making more money passively than you're spending.
Right. And the book doesn't shy away from the emotional aspect of this.
How so?
Well, they share an anecdote about someone who felt really ashamed at first to share their wall chart. But eventually they found it really empowering.
I can see how that would be a vulnerable experience.
Yeah, it's about being open and honest with yourself about your financial situation.
And seeing the progress you're making.
Exactly. And speaking of progress, there's another really fascinating concept that I want to mention. It's called the fulfillment curve.
The fulfillment curve. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's one of those aha moments in the book because it challenges the conventional belief that happiness increases with wealth.
Oh, interesting. So it's not a straight line up.
Nope. The fulfillment curve shows that there's actually a peak, a point of enough, where having more stuff actually leads to less satisfaction.
Like diminishing returns.
Yeah, exactly. You start to get more clutter, more debt, more stress.
It makes you wonder if we're chasing the wrong things sometimes.
Absolutely. And that brings us to how the book reframes the whole idea of frugality.
Oh, frugality, that word gets a bad rap.
Yeah, people often associate it with deprivation.
Like you're being cheap.
Right. But the book presents it in a totally different light. Frugality is about enjoying what you have and getting the maximum value out of your life energy and your possessions.
So it's more about being mindful and appreciative.
Exactly. And there's this great quote in the book, waste lies not in the number of possessions, but in the failure to enjoy them.
That's a good one.
Right. So it's not about denying yourself nice things. It's about appreciating and savoring what you already have.
I like that perspective.
Yeah, and to help us embrace this fulfilling frugality, the book outlines 9 key principles.
9 principles.
Yeah, and we're not going to go through all of them right now, but let's touch on a few just to give you a taste.
Okay, I'm all ears.
All right, so principle number 1, stop trying to impress other people.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It is, right? But think about it. Are you buying that fancy car for you? Or are you buying it to keep up with the Joneses?
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in that comparison game.
Totally, and the book encourages us to break free from that.
So what's the next principle?
The next one is become a conscious consumer.
What does that mean exactly?
What means doing your research before you buy something, avoiding those impulse purchases, and really thinking about whether you truly need it.
Yeah, that takes discipline.
It does, but the book offers some great tips on how to do that.
Okay, I'm curious.
Yeah, we can delve into those more later.
Sounds good.
And lastly, the book emphasizes the importance of saying no
Saying no to what?
to everything.
To everything.
Well, maybe not everything, but to advertising, to social pressure, and even to your own ingrained habits.
To setting boundaries.
Exactly. And reclaiming control over your spending.
It's about recognizing that true freedom lies in choosing what truly matters.
And relinquishing the rest.
I like that.
Right. It's about being intentional with your choices.
And not letting external forces dictate your spending.
Absolutely.
So we've covered a lot of ground so far.
We have. But the book doesn't stop at achieving financial independence.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, it goes even further and explores the concept of financial interdependence.
Financial interdependence. What's that all about?
Well, it's about recognizing that true wealth includes community, skills, and connections.
So it's not just about the money.
Exactly. It's about using your resources to support one another, invest in local economies, and contribute to a more sustainable and equitable world.
Yeah, I'm liking where this is going.
Right. And the book highlights a great example of this with a guy named Sam L. He was a garbage collector who achieved financial independence.
Okay.
And then he channeled his newfound freedom into pursuing sustainable living.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
He transformed his property into a self-sufficient model, inspiring his neighbors and creating a more resilient community.
That's a great story.
Yeah, it shows how financial freedom can be a catalyst for positive change and allow us to align our actions with our values.
I love that.
Me too. And that brings us to a really inspiring part of the book where they talk about natural wealth.
Natural wealth. What's that?
Well, it's all those intangible assets that contribute to a truly fulfilling life.
Oh, I see, like our talents, our sense of belonging, the strength of our community ties.
Exactly. Those are the things that money can't buy. The joy of meaningful connections, the satisfaction of mastering new skills, the fulfillment that comes from contributing to something greater than ourselves.
Those are the true riches.
They really are. And as we detach from material pursuits, we naturally gravitate toward cultivating these forms of natural wealth.
It's about recognizing that true abundance lies in experiences, connections, and the richness of a life well lived.
Beautifully said. And this shift in perspective can profoundly transform how we experience work as well.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, the book encourages us to redefine work.
Redefine work.
Yeah, to separate it from the idea of just earning a wage.
So it's not all about the paycheck.
Right. It's about viewing work as an opportunity for self-expression, for skill development, for community contribution.
So whether it's pursuing passion projects, volunteering our time, or simply engaging in activities that bring us joy.
Exactly. We can find fulfillment outside of traditional employment.
That's a liberating thought, especially for those approaching retirement.
Absolutely. Instead of dreading the end of paid employment, we can embrace it as a chance to explore new avenues, pursue long-held aspirations, and engage in activities that align with our values.
So retirement becomes less about idleness and more about purpose and meaning.
Right. It's a whole new chapter filled with possibilities.
I love that perspective.
And this leads us to another insightful concept from the book, the idea of a finite period of time.
Finite period of time.
Yeah, it's about viewing our working years as a defined chapter.
With a clear beginning and end.
Exactly. And by recognizing that our time in the workforce is limited.
We can make more deliberate choices about how we spend our days.
Precisely. It inspires us to prioritize experiences, nurture relationships, and pursue work that truly resonates with our passions.
Because life is too precious to waste on unfulfilling jobs or pursuits that drain our energy.
Well said. And, attaining financial independence. And embracing this new perspective on work often requires making some adjustments to our earning strategies.
Like what?
Well, the book explores various options, like negotiating higher compensation, transitioning to part-time work, or even generating multiple income streams.
So it's about being proactive and shaping our careers.
Exactly. Seeking opportunities that align with our values and leveraging our skills to generate income on our terms.
It's about taking control of our financial well-being and creating a work-life balance that supports our overall happiness and fulfillment.
Couldn't have said it better myself, and of course, as the book emphasizes throughout, a key principle for achieving financial independence is
Frugality.
you got it. But remember, frugality isn't about deprivation. It's about maximizing the enjoyment and value we derive from our resources.
Right, so it's about making conscious spending choices, prioritizing experiences over material possessions, and finding creative ways to minimize waste.
Exactly. And this frugality mindset
Yeah.
extends beyond just our personal finances.
Oh, how so?
Well, it influences our relationship with the environment.
Ah.
So the book highlights the connection between saving money and preserving the planet. Right. It reminds us that every purchase we make has an impact on the environment.
So by reducing consumption, reusing and repairing items, and opting for sustainable products,
We can align our financial choices with our ecological values.
it's about recognizing that living frugally can be both personally and globally beneficial.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
And as we become more conscious consumers, we naturally start to question the cultural narratives that drive excessive consumption.
Right. The book challenges the notion that happiness is tied to acquiring more.
It encourages us to seek fulfillment in experiences, relationships, and meaningful pursuits.
Absolutely. And to redefine success, not by the number of possessions we have, but by the richness of our lives and the positive impact we make on the world.
Powerful stuff.
It really is. So this exploration of your money or your life has been quite a journey, wouldn't you say?
It has. It's really made me think about my relationship with money in a whole new light.
Me too. And we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to uncover.
I can't wait to dive deeper.
Me neither. But for now, we've reached the end of the first part of our deep dive.
Already.
I know time flies when you're having fun, right?
It sure does, and this has been a lot of fun.
It has. But don't worry, there's more to come. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll continue to explore the insights of your money or your life, and delve into some practical strategies for aligning your finances with your life.
Sounds good. I'm ready for more.
All right, then we'll see you back here soon for part 2.
Welcome back to our deep dive into your money or your life.
It's great to be back. Last time we were talking about all sorts of things like redefining money as life energy and the importance of mindful spending.
Yeah, we also touched upon how crucial it is to make sure your spending aligns with your values and goals.
Right, and this time I think we should delve a bit deeper into the path towards achieving financial independence and what lies beyond.
Sounds good to me. The authors introduce a really interesting concept called the crossover point.
The crossover point, what's that?
Well, it's basically that magical moment when your investment income surpasses your monthly expenses.
Oh, wow. So that means your money is actually working for you, and you're no longer tied to a job just to survive.
Precisely. That's the essence of financial independence.
It's like a dream come true.
But the authors caution against viewing it as the final destination. They emphasize the importance of continuing to save and invest even after reaching the crossover point.
Oh, why is that?
Well, they suggest building a reserve for long-term security.
So it's like a safety net in case of unexpected expenses or if new opportunities arise?
Exactly. It gives you peace of mind knowing that you have resources beyond your immediate needs.
It's like having that financial cushion.
It is, and this abundance mentality is really important for transitioning into what the authors call financial interdependence.
Financial interdependence. That sounds intriguing.
It is. It's a state of being where your wealth isn't just about your personal finances.
It's more expansive.
Yeah, it recognizes that true wealth includes our community, our skills, and the bonds we forge with others.
So it's about using our resources to support each other, to invest in local economies, and to contribute to a more sustainable and equitable world.
Right. It's about recognizing that we're all connected.
I like that a lot. And the book shares a really compelling story about a guy named Sam L.
Yeah, I remember him. He was a garbage collector.
He was, and he achieved financial independence.
And then what did he do?
Well, he channeled his newfound freedom into pursuing sustainable living. He transformed his property into a self-sufficient model, inspiring his neighbors and helping to create a more resilient community.
That's a great example of how financial independence can be a catalyst for positive change.
It really is, and it shows how we can align our actions with our values and make a real difference in the world.
I love that.
Me too. And, this brings us to a really inspiring part of the book, where they talk about inherent wealth.
Inherent wealth, what's that?
Well, it refers to all those intangible assets that contribute to a truly fulfilling life.
Ah, I see. Like our talents, our sense of belonging, the strength of our community ties.
Exactly. Those are the things that money can't buy.
Right, like the joy of meaningful relationships, the satisfaction of mastering new skills, the fulfillment that comes from contributing to something larger than ourselves.
You got it. Those are the true riches in life.
And as we detach from the pursuit of material possessions, we naturally gravitate toward cultivating these forms of inherent wealth.
It's about recognizing that true abundance lies in experiences, connections, and a life filled with meaning.
Beautifully said, and this shift in perspective can really transform how we experience work, too.
Oh, how so?
Well, the book encourages us to redefine work, to detach it from the idea of just earning a wage.
So it's not all about the paycheck.
Right. It's about viewing work as an opportunity for self-expression, for skill development, for community contribution.
Whether it's pursuing passion projects, volunteering our time, or simply engaging in activities that bring us joy.
Exactly. We can find fulfillment outside of traditional employment.
That's a liberating thought, especially for those approaching retirement.
Absolutely. Instead of fearing the end of paid employment, we can embrace it as a chance to explore new avenues, pursue long-held dreams, and engage in activities that align with our values.
Retirement becomes less about idleness and more about purpose and meaning.
It's a whole new chapter filled with possibilities.
And this leads us to another insightful concept from the book, the idea of a finite time frame.
A finite time frame. What do they mean by that?
It's about viewing our working years as a defined chapter.
With a clear beginning and end.
Right. And by recognizing that our time in the workforce is limited,
We can make more conscious choices about how we spend our days.
it inspires us to prioritize experiences, nurture relationships, and pursue work that truly resonates with our passions.
Because life is too precious to waste on unfulfilling jobs or pursuits that drain our energy?
I couldn't agree more. And achieving financial independence and embracing this new perspective on work often requires us to make some adjustments to our earning strategies.
What kind of adjustment?
Well, the book explores various options, like negotiating higher compensation, transitioning to part-time work, or even generating multiple income streams.
So it's about being proactive and shaping our careers?
Exactly. It's about seeking opportunities that align with our values and leveraging our skills to generate income on our own terms.
It's about taking control of our financial well-being and creating a work-life balance that supports our overall happiness and fulfillment.
Well said. And of course, as the book emphasizes throughout, a key principle for achieving financial independence is embracing.
Frugality.
Got it. But remember, frugality isn't about deprivation. It's about maximizing the enjoyment and value we get from our resources.
Right. It's about making conscious spending choices, prioritizing experiences over material possessions, and finding creative ways to minimize waste.
Exactly. And this frugality mindset extends beyond just our personal finances.
Oh, in what way?
It influences our relationship with the environment as well.
Oh, that's interesting. How so?
Well, the book highlights the connection between saving money and preserving the planet.
That makes sense.
Right. It reminds us that every purchase we make has an impact on the environment.
So by reducing consumption, reusing and repairing items, and opting for sustainable products,
We can align our financial choices with our ecological values.
it's about recognizing that living frugally can be both personally and globally beneficial.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation.
And as we become more conscious consumers, we naturally start to question those cultural narratives that drive excessive consumption.
Yeah, like the idea that happiness is tied to buying more stuff.
It's about seeking fulfillment in experiences in relationships and in meaningful pursuits.
Exactly. And it's about redefining success, not by how much we own, but by the richness of our lives and the positive impact we make on the world. And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into your money or your life.
It's been quite a journey exploring these concepts.
It really has. We've covered so much ground already, but there's one crucial area we haven't touched upon yet.
Hmm.
Investing.
Ah, yes, investing. It can seem like a whole other world, especially for those who aren't familiar with the ins and outs of finance.
Absolutely. But your money or your life does a great job of breaking it down and making it accessible.
Okay, good to know. So how do they approach it?
Well, they emphasize the importance of aligning your investments with your personal values.
That makes sense. It's not just about making money, but making sure your money is supporting the things you believe in.
Exactly. The authors encourage a mindful and informed approach to investing.
So understanding where your money is going and choosing investments that align with your vision for a better world.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Joe Dominguez, one of the authors, was a big advocate for U.S. Treasury bonds.
Treasury bonds, why those specifically?
Well, he saw them as a safe and reliable way to generate passive income.
I see. So a steady and predictable return on investment.
Yes, and although the financial landscape has changed quite a bit since then, the principles behind Joe's approach are still relevant today.
Right. It's about finding investments that offer stability, low fees, and align with your risk tolerance.
Exactly. And speaking of today's landscape, index funds have become incredibly popular, especially among those in the FIRE movement.
FIRE movement. Remind me what that stands for again.
Financial independence, retire early. It's all about reaching financial independence as quickly as possible so you can retire early and pursue your passions.
Ah, got it. And how do index funds fit into that?
Well, they're seen as a diversified and low-cost way to invest in the stock market.
So instead of trying to pick individual stocks, you invest in a fund that tracks a specific market index.
Precisely. It's a more hands-off approach that is proven to be very effective over the long term.
Interesting. So besides index funds, what other investment avenues does the book explore?
They touch upon real estate, which can provide both income and potential appreciation in value.
Real estate can be a great investment, but it's not without its risks.
You're absolutely right. And the book stresses the importance of understanding the risks and responsibilities involved in any investment before diving in.
Do they talk about any other types of investments?
They also encourage us to consider the social and environmental impact of our investments.
So investing in companies that are making a positive difference in the world.
Exactly. It's known as socially responsible investing, or SRI for short.
SRI, I like that. It's about aligning your investment portfolio with your personal values.
Precisely. and supporting businesses that are committed to sustainability, ethical practices, and positive social impact.
So investing isn't just about maximizing returns, it's also about making conscious decisions that support a better world.
Absolutely. It's about using your financial power for good.
That's a powerful message. But does the book offer any specific investment advice?
Not really. They make it clear that they're not financial advisors and can't give specific recommendations.
Which is understandable. Everyone's financial situation is different.
Right. Instead, they focus on giving readers the knowledge and tools to make informed decisions that are right for them.
So, empowering readers to take control of their own financial futures.
Exactly. They encourage seeking guidance from qualified financial advisors, doing your research, and approaching investing with a long-term perspective.
That's sound advice. After all, investing is just one piece of the puzzle.
True wealth lies in cultivating a life filled with purpose, meaningful relationships, and experiences that bring us joy.
Absolutely. It's about finding that balance between financial well-being and overall life satisfaction.
And your money or your life provides a roadmap for achieving that.
It shows us how to create lives that are aligned with our values and make a positive impact on the world.
This deep dive into your money or your life has been an incredible learning experience.
It really has. I feel like I have a whole new perspective on my relationship with money.
Me too. And we've learned so much about mindful spending, aligning our actions with our purpose, and the transformative power of achieving financial independence.
But it's just the beginning, right? The real work starts now.
Absolutely. It's time to put these insights into action.
To make conscious choices about our spending, our work, and our relationship with material possessions.
To embark on a lifelong journey of financial awareness, self-discovery, and creating a life filled with meaning and abundance.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And, as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it would be helpful to recap the key takeaways from your money or your life. Maybe condense it into a concise 10-point summary.
I love that idea. A 10-point summary for our listeners to take away and reflect on. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Number one, money is simply something we trade our life energy for. So tracking your time and expenses is crucial to really grasp that.
Number 2, calculate your real hourly wage by factoring in all those job-related expenses. This will give you a much clearer picture of the true value of your time.
Number 3, embrace the monthly tabulation. It's a powerful tool for creating personalized spending categories that reflect your values and priorities. It's all about mindful financial management.
Number 4, ask yourself those 3 transformative questions about each expenditure. Did it bring you fulfillment? Does it align with your values? Would you still spend this way if work wasn't a necessity? These questions can really help you to clarify your spending habits.
Number 5, visualize your progress with a wall chart. Tracking your income, expenses, and journey toward financial independence can be incredibly motivating. Plus, it allows you to celebrate those milestones along the way.
Number 6, remember the fulfillment curve. There's a point of enough after which more stuff doesn't necessarily lead to greater happiness. Challenge that societal narrative that more is always better.
Number 7, redefine frugality. It's not about deprivation, but about maximizing the enjoyment and value you get from your resources. Appreciate what you have, minimize waste, and prioritize experiences over material possessions.
Number 8, remember those 9 frugal principles. They can really help you to save money, reduce unnecessary spending, and live more intentionally. And always remember, waste lies not in the number of possessions, but in the failure to enjoy them.
Number 9, financial independence is just the beginning. Embrace financial interdependence by recognizing that true wealth encompasses community, skills, and those meaningful connections. It's about using your resources to support one another and create a more equitable world.
And finally, number 10, reimagine work. Detach from the idea that it has to be the sole source of meaning and fulfillment in your life. View it as an opportunity for self-expression, skill development, and community contribution. Explore those passion projects, volunteer your time, and engage in activities that bring you joy.
And there you have it, our 10 key takeaways from your money or your life. We hope this deep dive has sparked some insights, challenged some assumptions, and inspired you to view your relationship with money in a whole new light. Remember, it's not just about the numbers, it's about aligning your finances with your life energy, your values, and your vision for the future. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and until next time on The Deep Dive, may your pursuit of financial awareness be filled with purpose and abundance.